Welcome to No Such Thing as Normal podcast with Natalie Hayes and Jess McKeown.
This is a casual podcast where we talk about all of the things you're not supposed to talk about in order to help you normalize your real life, because really we're all just a bunch of weirdos having a completely human experience in a society that asks us to pretend like we're not.
And I'm your host, Jess, a gifted channel for the spirit baby realm who facilitates deep soul healing by delivering divine messages and teaching you how to connect with your spirit babies.
Ooh, and I'm your other host, Natalie, an intuitive mentor and healer.
Be
I'm
sure
an
to
account-
Oh,
I don't need to mention that I have a new mom.
now just a mom.
I know I'm a mom. Yeah.
Be sure to subscribe where you listen to podcasts, watch our 100% unedited episodes because we didn't edit that out on YouTube. And you can also follow us on Instagram at McJaguar and at Intuitive Natalie for more weirdo and woo-woo content.
And if you like this episode, please be sure to rate and review, and like and subscribe and share it on your social and tag us so that more people can unleash their weird with you.
Yeah. And just as a quick reminder, we're going to channel some listeners' questions, but you can always DM us or message us or email us in between episodes if you're like, I want this to be answered on the podcast.
Yeah. Wait, is there a light behind you, like a galaxy light?
Yes.
Okay, I love it so much.
Best thing ever.
Let's talk about your Aura app.
Oh my God, I love it.
What is that?
Okay, it's called, so I'm in Santa Fe. I'm
Mhm.
driving. We're driving back, you're on the road and you're like, okay, I don't know how I got the bee in my bonnet that I wanted an Aura camera. I've always loved those. Aura was supposed to come here. And then the pandemic hit and it canceled and it's like so fun. And I just love that shit. Like I got
Love
it
it so
done
much.
in the place that you recommended in Sedona.
Yeah.
And
Crystal
Dan and I got a
Magic.
couples one. Crystal Magic hashtag. We
It's
love
the
you.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like such a high vibe. Like if you just anytime I'm having a bad day, like if I can find a crystal store, I'll just be like, I'll like walk
Hey, that's
in
not
and
work
get like
better.
free vibes.
Yeah.
Pro tip,
Free vibes, crystal shops.
free vibes. But I was just like, oh, like those Aura cameras are so cool. And I was like, what if I got one? Like that would be a cool thing to do and like take people's photos and da da. And so I Googled it and it's like really hard to like find and they don't list the price. And so I sent them an email and I'm thinking like, it's probably like a couple grand. I was thinking like anywhere between like 3 and like 6, right? Like who knows, right? Because the one at the Sedona place, it's like a computer software, which I also look into, which is not as expensive. But I was like, this one like actually prints the auras.
Yeah.
So I get the email back and it's $19,686 or something like that. 20 G's.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And they don't make a lot of them. And of course I didn't want it more.
Well, yeah.
Because I was like, how many portraits do I have to do
to make up for this cause?
to make up for this cause and then just have it for life. And so I am kind of obsessed with the Aura because I think that's what I'm reading people from, right? I think that's actually where all this information is that I get from people. I think it's like stored, like not all of it. Some of it comes from spirit, but the random things like, oh, did you have, like a bagel for breakfast yesterday? They're like, yeah, that's weird. I'm like, I think that's in their aura.
Yeah, it's just stored.
Yeah, weird little things. And so I got this app and it's called Aurala, Aurla. I'll put it in the show notes. And you get one free photo a day. I did upgrade because I'm like, I want it.
Well, because yes,
it's $6 a month, worth it. And then with that, you can take 5 photos a day, you or your friends, so you can share it, which I love. And they have this thing where you can say like, I just want a general reading, which is when I get mostly pink. But then yesterday I was like, am I just going to get pink all the time? Because of course, you guys, I am a skeptic with all this shit as well.
You should be. Yeah.
I was like, am I just getting like pretty colors and some like cheap ass text? And I'm like, this is it. This is the word. And so I was like, I'm going to test it. And so I chose like the ask a question option. And I asked a question, different colors. And then I did a relationship one. And these are all within like minutes of each other. Different colors. This morning, I just posted, I was like, what's my aura for today? And it's like all blues and greens. It's all about like communication and expression. So it does change or they just give you a different color.
Or it's bullshit. Yeah.
It's bullshit. But I think that's kind of like the crux of living a spiritual life, And I run into that so much. It's like, yes, or it's bullshit. And I'm like, I guess eventually if it's bullshit, like we'll find out. And
Yeah,
like,
you'll get tired of it.
we'll just have a good laugh, right?
Right. There's a line in a song that I really like. I think the song is On Hold by the XX. There's this line and it says like the stars and the cards all make sense only when you want them to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's with any spiritual tool.
Yeah.
Like you're drawn to use it for a reason. It's going to give you what you need out of it, whether or not it's like quote unquote, I don't know, true. But it's true. What is true? It's true for you in the moment if it resonates with you.
It is. And like what Spirit was saying a lot this week for people in my sessions was like, how are you going to make meaning of this?
Yeah.
Right. Because like you can be like, it's the worst thing out ever. It's awful. It's horrible. It's all this. And like all that can be true. But like after all that is honored and recognized, like it's like, what can you start to pull out of it that like gives meaning to it? And we are meaning makers, humans, right? We have to like, why are we here? Right. All that stuff.
Right.
Well, why do we have religion? We made it because we're like, well, fuck. There must be a God burning my crops. I don't know. So, we have to like make a meaning of it. We must have done something wrong.
Yeah.
That comes from, but yeah, it's just like we got to make meaning of it. So I choose right now to make meaning of it, which is like it's just fun for me. It's fun to see when I think differently. And you do put your two thumbs on the phone. And so it might like take like your temperature or your pressure or whatever. I don't like love the text. Like they should definitely hire a new copywriter to like put more like magic-y woo in there.
Yeah.
But and I don't quite understand like all the colors. Like they're named after crystals, but I'm down for it. Right now it's just fun.
Intuitively, what do you pick up about it? Is it just like what you need in the moment? Like it'll serve you for whatever purpose you want to use it to serve you for?
It gives me like, because your aura changes all the time, like your chakras change all the time, like your energy is always changing. So for me, it's just kind of like this fun way to like get a visual imprint of my energy, because I did feel different when I asked those different questions. I did feel different this morning, as you guys can tell. I have a little bit of a frog in my throat, so I was a little like, curious if I could still communicate today. But yeah, it's just upgrades. It's fun. And it's funny because I like when I try to find stuff that I've texted you, I have to like
scroll for miles.
All my Gemini friends, I'm like, oh my God. Cause it'll be like 2 days and it'll be like mountains of text. But we were talking, I was like, well, what have we been texting each other? What have we been like sharing with one another? Like, what's the like BTS of like, this podcast? And we shared a lot of stuff about aliens.
We always do.
There was this call in Vegas, of course, Vegas. And the only reason that the cops came to this, this house call that they saw aliens, was because his partner saw like something fall out of the sky. And then there was just like all this weird stuff. And then like the kid went on and he like gave like a video thing, but then people were like, oh, he's like looking, and the government came and all this stuff. And like whatever we believe about all of that, I just think that I'm gonna say like the last couple of years, the alien disclosure and more people kind of being open to it, like I love it.
I love it.
I think it's going to become like more and more mainstream okay to talk about all this kind of stuff, right?
I agree. Okay. So 2 things. I want to talk about the Schumann resonance.
Yes.
What the fuck? Also, I heard about this guy, which I don't know if I texted you about or not, named Chris Bledsoe.
Okay.
Have you heard of him?
No.
Okay, I guess they did I guess someone like Discovery Channel or something did a documentary on him because he had like an alien encounter several years ago, him and his whole family.
Wow.
And like lots of weird shit happens to them. And like this being that he refers to as the lady, he visits, or she visits him, and he channels her and information and he's just like a normal guy. He's like a redneck. Like he's like a normal fucking guy. He didn't want to come out with this information because he's like, I sound insane.
I am a redneck. I gotta
sound crazy. I'm just a normal cishet white guy. And the lady comes to him, and I tried like as much as I could to Google like what the lady has said to him.
Yeah. And
all I could find was one video, and it relates back to that book that I told you I read from that author who tried to get on the podcast who ghosted us. She did ghost us. We haven't heard anything back from her.
Real life ghost stories.
She agreed in the now. Her second book, like The Secrets of the Sphinx or something, is all about when like the Sphinx holds all of this information. Like we don't really know the full extent of what it serves for us on this planet, the
Oof.
Sphinx. Yeah, it's big.
Wow. Ugh.
And she goes like deep into it in her second book. But the lady through Chris Bledsoe said something about like June or something of 2026, all of the secrets of the Sphinx will be revealed. And that's the only clip that I saw.
Okay, you did send it to me. Well, you sent me a guy that said he got dates of June, July, and then
That
other people got October, but he was going with June. Okay, that's not him.
that's a different guy. That's about this Schumann resonance thing.
Oh, see, but you mentioned them together.
I know I did. I said I have two things. Chris Bledsoe, fucking Schumann
But
resonance.
maybe they're more like
Maybe
this.
they're together. Maybe they're together. What Jess is
Okay.
talking about.
So Chris Bledsoe and how does he get the information? Do we know?
She comes through him, I guess. And
Oh,
I
like
think
she'll merge and like speak through him and he allows that?
yeah. Yeah, he's like a channel and he didn't know it because he had like this contact experience several years ago. They did a whole documentary on him, but it was kind of orchestrated to make him look crazy because whoever, was orchestrating the documentary didn't want this information to really get out, so they make people look crazy.
Sure.
Um,
I mean, I will say my best studying of medias when I was younger helps me point out all the bullshit that media is doing today. So
right. Spin doctors.
yes. Okay, I'm gonna watch that with a careful eye, but I want to know more about that. That's so
I know
cool.
I like could not find, and I guess like the more that I dove into like, I don't know, a Reddit thread, which is where all good information comes from.
For reals, because you can't find this shit on normal Google
It's
searches.
on Reddit.
Like, the weird alien with the thing and the thing and the blah blah blah, and I'm like,
there's
trying
always
to
a
find
Reddit
videos.
thread about it.
I've learned that. I've learned that.
So I went down this Reddit thread, and I guess the lady, this like divine mother being,
Ooh.
has come through to humanity for
Ooh.
like eons. It's like it's Hathor. It's
Mm.
it's like this divine feminine energy being that has come
Isis,
through.
yeah, all
Yeah,
around,
yeah, that whole energy.
Now, why this family?
I
Do they
don't know.
need, like, I literally am like, do y'all not see my ticket? Have I not
Maybe
raised my light? Because they want it to be so like, oh, of course, Jess would be channeling the Divine Mother, but
right.
this
This guy, Joe Schmo, and his
believability.
whole family.
Yeah.
They have a podcast, actually. I think it's called Bledsoe Said So.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
cute.
his kids have done this podcast, and he also has a book that's like a memoir about all of his experiences. But he's like kind of under the radar. He's like, I don't know, an F-list celebrity.
Yes, he's Googled on my Google to look up
You
later.
can't find a ton. You cannot find a ton of information, or at least I couldn't. I don't know. But yeah, wild talking about this, the lady, and all of the secrets of the Sphinx coming out in 2026. But next year, what's next year? 2024. This other guy that I texted you from TikTok, having to do with the Schumann resonance, looking like sacred geometry over the weekend.
So cool.
Okay, if you don't know, go Google it because you can find it. There's a shit ton of TikToks about it. How the Schumann resonance completely changed in a way that it like never has before. It's never looked like this before.
No, it usually looks like a Richter scale, kind of
like nonsense.
very much, yeah, kind of. But this was like clear patterns, repeating patterns,
organized.
Oh my God, it was so cool.
It's beautiful. And this was the weekend of June, 17th?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once this podcast comes out, like 2 weekends ago, if you were sick, that's probably why.
Oh.
A lot of people had like ascension symptoms.
So, and the Schumann residents who lives there? Resonance. It measures the Earth. What
frequency?
What like Earth is putting off, basically.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like the Earth is putting off any greater frequency. It's the same like amplitude. Okay, it's just the energy that it's putting out now is organized. And one content creator called it refined. It's like a refined. It's not so chaotic.
Why'd the Earth decide to do that?
It's aliens.
Oh, you think the aliens are coming in? The aliens have landed?
Okay, aliens surround this planet. And they're, in their ships above us, and they are pushing energy at us so that we all ascend, and therefore the Earth ascends. And then in 2024, according to this other TikTok that I sent Jess, we split. into
Timeline split, yeah.
we split into 3D and 5D, but we will coexist.
I feel like I'm already split and I'm
I agree.
already coexisting
I agree. And some of you
because
listening also might feel that way.
I feel sometimes I have to I feel this is what I feel. I'm just going to channel this. I feel like some of the things that I need aren't on the 5D timeline yet.
Yeah.
That's why
Like
I have to
what?
go
Like
in
what's 3D? Like Cheetos?
grocery stores.
Oh,
What you say?
Cheetos, honey buns.
How do you know I've been eating Cheetos?
I love Cheetos.
No,
They're
I got
so 3D.
Ruffles the other day. Like when was the last
Mm.
time I had Ruffles? Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
You know what? They weren't as okay. I don't want to disappoint people who love Ruffles. I was very excited, but they just they didn't taste like real potatoes.
Maybe they would have tasted better if you were in 3D, but you're in 5D and it doesn't taste as good.
Oh my god. They didn't. They didn't taste like potatoes. They just
Bet. That's what it was. Your
there's probably
5D
like
self.
2% potatoes anyway in there, but oh my god. Okay, so let's like break down Thailand because I find this so fascinating.
I
Like,
know.
okay, so the Thailand split.
Right. Like an atom is how he described it. Because like atoms vibrate, split.
Just energetically, if you're vibrating a certain way, you're just going to automatically kind of be put on 3 or 5, right?
It's how you're, yeah, it's like what you're calling into your energy field at that moment at this time. But what I have also heard from other channels is that your soul has pre-decided.
Ooh.
So don't stress yourself out about like, oh my god, I have to only think positive thoughts for like a year so I make it onto new earth. Like, no. Your soul
that's not
has
a bad
decided.
thing.
It's not a bad thing.
But like around June, you want to be paused, okay?
Your ticket's been bought. I don't know.
You might want to like hype yourself up in June 2024, just so you don't miss the bus. You're like, oh my god, I had that one bad thought, and now I'm in 3D forever.
Oh my god, I'm stuck in 3D with these losers.
No, my guide said you can always change.
Yeah, free will.
Yeah, you can move once it's open. I am also like totally tripping out about all this conversation around 3D and 5D and how normal it is in the spaces that I'm in.
Yeah, it's
And
not so
how
weird
I start to see other people talk about it, but I don't know that everybody like fully really understands it. Like I think we've talked about this on the podcast a little bit before, but like it's not like everything changes around you, but like
right.
you like will like take a nap and then you wake up and you're like,
I feel sparkly.
yeah, it's a little different. But it's like, I mean, unless they're saying to me, like, unless you're like really attuned to notice the difference, it's like they don't need to jar your system, but you'll kind of like sense it, feel it. Your other perceptions will pick up that something is different, and it's just wild.
Yeah.
But I think what my guides are saying, they're hyped up now. They're like, we need to talk about this because we need people's understanding of reality to expand far beyond the very like Christian dome base is what they're giving me.
Yeah.
Like we're all in this little boop,
Yeah, fear.
And we just march into heaven or hell or whatever, purgatory, if you got that in yours, if you got the bonus round.
Outer darkness. Yeah. That's what the Mormons believe.
Yeah. Shh, don't tell them we're here. Right. That's my favorite joke. Like whatever religion, they're just like, shh, don't tell the Catholics we're here, or shh, don't tell the Mormons we're here. It's like, no, we're all here. Yeah. I'm excited for people to take this seriously and really think. And I think what is helping is that all the quantum physics stuff, quantum mechanics,
validate.
That I think actually, I mean, I think that's helping people who are of that mind, that very scientific, very I want to know mind to actually kind of see like when a particle over here wiggles, it affects it over here.
Mm-hmm. That's why they won't let us blow ourselves
That's
up.
how I can channel people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like the same kind of thing, but we'll take it atom by atom.
Atom by atom onto those new timelines. What do you feel like needs clarification about it? Because to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I see two split. Boomers over here, the rest of us over here.
I mean, I guess more just like, okay, well, I guess not clarification so much. I just like, I'm curious about it. Like, okay. So like with frequencies and vibrations, if you have a higher frequency, a higher vibration, then there's a lower frequency. When you put them
Mhm.
together, the higher overtakes the lower. So if we are on a higher timeline processing energy, not boring.
I know I'm moving energy.
I know. If we're on a higher, if there's more of us on the 5D vibrating
Yeah.
and we do run into a boomer, like, do you think we'll be able to affect them more?
I think only if they're open to receiving it. You cannot, in my
Mm.
experience with boomers, you cannot change them unless they're open to change. And I think that goes with frequency as well. Like if they're not actively self-aware, wanting to be a better person, wanting to grow, wanting to learn, then you're not going to affect that person. But I feel like if you run into them, you might be like, oof, vibes are off. And then just like go
Mm.
about your day. Not for me. Vibes are off.
Okay, so are we just then moving towards like more segregation on this planet, and just instead of like black white segregation, it's like high vibe low vibe, that segregation?
Kind of, but not in a like government defined way,
Okay.
more in like a naturally occurring separation. Like there are going to be people on this side. Sorry, I heard knocking.
I did too.
There's gonna be people
Ooh, chills.
on
They're coming for you right now.
I know, right? On like these in these locations that really congregate together because like attracts like. So like
Mm.
3D people will be gathering in what this content creator said, like those smart cities that they're trying to make everybody move into, 15-minute cities. So maybe that's like a potential for a 3D timeline. Everybody in those like lower dimensional, they all kind of congregate together naturally versus ones on the higher timeline are picking a path more of sovereignty. So they're like moving more rural, like homesteading, like sovereignty, less interference from higher ups versus the 3D timeline is still like they're kind of doubling down on the interference.
Right, because you can still have community and sovereignty. You can still have
Yeah,
sharing and equality and all that good
right.
stuff. Um, yeah, and I kind of see like the natural vibrational separation of just that's just weird though. I mean, it's
I
not
know.
weird because there's like multi dimensions and there's freaking
Sure.
beings that pop in and out of dimensions. Like if like portals, if you go to like certain
Yeah.
places, like in the forest, you're like, oh, that's like a
Hmm.
gnome portal or a fairy portal, whatever. It just the energy feels different. So maybe it'll just be like that. Like you'll just be like, oh, like the energy feels different,
Yeah.
and I'll just move away from them.
Yeah. It will be a naturally occurring separation. You don't need to stress about it. You don't need to, aggressively affirmate yourself into a new time. Like you don't need to do that. Wherever you end up on these timelines is where your soul needs to be ultimately to learn the lessons that you signed up and came here to learn.
Well, yeah, and I think that's gosh, I've been talking about that a lot too with friends and clients. Like we can't be afraid of the darkness. We can't like some of my best things ever have come through going through the darkness,
I
you know?
agree.
And like if spirit was like, "Hey, here's what's behind this door," you would have been like, "Fuck, no, I'm not going through that door." But if they don't tell you
Yeah.
and they're like, "Doesn't this look nice?"
Hmm.
Then you're just like, "Yeah, like, oh, here's the door to motherhood. Doesn't that look nice, Natalie? Come on
Yeah, but didn't they
down."
sell that to me really nicely?
Cool.
And then,
I'm gonna
whew,
go in there. Right. So it's just like that's where I am on my journey. I'm not afraid of the hard stuff.
yeah, same. Actually, like prefer it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like a contender. I'm like, all right, hard stuff. Because it's like I'm curious about it. I'm like, what is my shit? Why is my hip hurting? Why is this thing bothering
Right.
me? Why do I get triggered by that?
Yes.
All happening to me this week.
With the solstice.
Oh my gosh. It was fun. I love the solstice.
I do. I also love the solstice. If you would have asked me last year how I felt about cancer season, I would have been, big fat thumbs down. But I love cancers now. I'm all about that Cancerian energy. I love it now.
How do I know Natalie's already on the 5D timeline? She texted me, I actually like cancer season.
That's how you know.
Usually we're like fucking cancer moods.
Fucking cancer moon. This is the
Oh,
worst day ever. No,
I'm
I like really
crying.
like it.
Oh, because
It's
you're a
you know,
mama.
it took birth. Took what, 15 hours of labor to
You know,
make me like cancers.
That's all.
all.
You too can like this astrological sign.
Yeah.
We love our Cancerians. We
We
don't fuck with
do.
them.
We really do. No, you don't fuck with them.
No,
Did you
they.
pull cards for the solstice? What's coming up for you?
I did. Oh, I've already reshuffled. What did I get? I got the Magician,
Ooh,
Avi.
in what context? Like, what did you ask?
So okay, so I have this new deck. It's crows, and what I have been asking is, I say, crows, tell me a story about the solstice for me.
Mm.
Tell me a story. And so then I just pull as many cards as I want, or however jumps out.
Mhm,
Then I got the King of Cups,
mhm,
right? So like I have all the power within me. I'm the like this master of emotions. And I would say that's true for me because that's my triggers, that's all my shit.
mhm.
It's like, why am I getting so emotional and bent out of shape about things? And the emotional maturity I crave and I desire. And I think that's a really like nice quality to be able to modulate your emotions, especially with if you want to have kids, right? And be able
Oh my
to,
God.
and we're gonna talk about that, right? And then I
Ooh.
got the Five of Swords,
Mhm.
which I took as like pick your battles.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm going on a big family trip.
Yeah.
And like really just kind of like pick and choose like what you want to go after in your healing, right? Like it doesn't,
Mhm.
it's going to come to you whether you want to or not, but like, and also like, don't be afraid of change, right? Like sometimes the battle, sometimes the hard part, sometimes the sloughing off is like just what you need. And then it ended with like another major arcana. See if I can remember.
Maybe
Maybe
it's
I
not
took a
important.
picture.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's not important.
Mm, yeah. Something else. Some some kind of juicy energy though.
Love it.
Yeah, it was good. And I did a sound bath
Mhm.
and I had red velvet cupcakes for Dan and I.
Ooh, love
So
that.
good with cream
So
cheese
good.
frosting. So good.
Mm.
I did some and I worked. I saw a lot of clients yesterday. It was a busy day.
That's a nice solstice.
It was. But the best part though was like getting texts from all my witchy friends, like happy solstice, happy solstice. And
I
I was
know.
like,
I love that
like
you've
it just I
normalized.
know that's was the best part. That's what I loved. I was like, oh, this is so nice. Like instead of like I love Happy New Year too, but this was nice. And it was nice to see how many of my friends sent that to me and responded back. So I was like, I'm in
Mhm.
good company.
Yeah.
What
Get
did
you
you
friends
do?
who will text you happy solstice.
I know. What did you do on your solstice with your babe? You
What
pulled
did we
cards.
do?
Did you guys pull cards?
Maeve pulled a card.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cards.
I did pull cards. We sat down up here in my office, which she doesn't really come in here that much, so she was
She's like, ooh.
looking around. Yeah. Um, but I pulled from the Starseed Oracle deck that I love so much. I asked, or I said, like, this is what I'm leaving behind in this first 6 months of the year. This is what we're like coming through.
Oh, I like that.
And it was like double mission, uplifting humanity and channeling. It was like a star seed card. And I was like, yeah, got it, check. And her eyes were closed on the card. And then, which I thought was interesting, important
Mm,
that her
mm.
eyes were closed. And then I asked what May was moving into the next 6 months and what I am moving into the next 6 months. And Maeve's card was the breath of the cosmos. And like
Ooh.
what really stuck out to me on it was my will to thy will. So I
Mm.
think she's really moving into her will on here. And she's only like 6.5 months, but Lord, she's
She's ready to
spicy.
go.
She's spicy. And then I pulled a card just to see like what I could do to help her with that, to
Yeah.
help her with what she's moving into because she's still so dependent.
Yeah.
And it was the make your life a moving prayer card. It was
Ooh.
very like heart centered, just like making every day kind of like a moving prayer and coming from a place of love and just having this like love container for her to develop her will is coming
I
through for her.
love that. Just
Yeah.
like basically let her be her
Yeah.
and love her.
As she develops who she is, who she wants
Yeah.
to be. Yeah. And then what I'm moving into the next 6 months, I pulled the void, which I sent you.
Oh yeah.
The cosmic womb.
Hello.
It's like stop, embrace winter. Like so I keep thinking about going back to work and I just keep feeling like this no, not yet. Like not
Oof.
yet with one-on-one clients. I still have all of my online courses that are
Yeah.
amazing. They're up.
Yes.
They're so fun. I have those. But as for one-on-one clients, not yet.
Yeah. I think it's the work that we do, we're so like enmeshed with other people's energies. We're so there in the space, and it's kind of like you got to be ready to, I don't know, hold all that.
I'm too
What I'm
mushy.
feeling. Yeah.
I'm too mushy, like we were talking about in the last episode, right? Postpartum. I'm so mushy. And I wanted to talk about cancer season, right? Self-care.
Yeah.
You mentioned something to me that really stuck out. It's like when you're postpartum, you said that like all of my chakras were open to receiving and connecting with whatever Maeve needs, right? Like being really in tune with her needs,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't necessarily only to her needs. It's just like they're
Mm.
wide open,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
which is why I'm so mushy. So if you're
Yeah.
like postpartum or a new parent, or what, postpartum can go up to like 7 to 12 years after birth.
Postpartum for life.
Yeah, postpartum for life. Check your energy during this cancer season. Like call your energy back. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself first and you're not being like too open,
Yeah.
because it's just a byproduct of motherhood is that you're
Yes.
open. You're open.
Yes. And because you have to be,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah,
I guess my guys are saying, well, it is a choice that
it is.
they receive that way. Some mothers don't
They don't.
actually. And I actually just talked with a friend who is a newborn photographer,
Hmm.
and part of her work is calling in um, the babies who need to be welcomed, and
Yeah.
sometimes like their mothers need some help kind of opening up certain
Mhm.
chakras, and like
Yeah.
just in the photography session she can tell that like things shift, and I was like, that is so cool.
That is so
Yeah,
cool.
because I mean, like, when people say like, oh, like I haven't felt that bond with my baby yet, right? Or like,
Mm.
and you're
Yeah.
kind of like weirded out because everybody's like, oh my God, my baby, right? You might check even your chakras to see like, is your heart open? Are these,
Mm.
sometimes you close things off. If you've had, they're saying to me like surgery, C-sections, those kinds of things, you've literally been opened up. There might be other energies in there as well.
I
So
mean, it took me like 4 to 6 weeks to
yeah.
really open up. I think I was just like reeling from the trauma of it all for that long. But it took me about like 4 to 6 weeks to really open up to her. I was resisting. I think we talked about it.
My guides want to down like a whole energetic postpartum care right now, and I
Yeah.
just have no, because it's like they're showing me like, and like, you need to write this down. I'm like, oh my God, they're making me like really heavy. They're saying this is important though, that like in addition to like the soup and the family visits and all the other stuff, that people need the energetic care as well, the husbands as
Yeah.
well, or the other partners as well.
I feel like that's
um
why you also kind of naturally are inclined to limit visitors in that period.
not everybody does that though.
I think out of obligation.
Totally out of obligation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch out.
I didn't want visitors. Yeah.
Well, and then you have to deal with the whole like,
I know. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute because you and I have touched on this. And I just want to say for
hmm
any mamas out there, any papas, any parents, any nibbies, any damas, whatever pronouns you go by.
oh, I love those.
It was on the L word. Uh, like non-binary parents.
Ah,
Um,
oh, hey, I love that, because maybe I
yeah,
want to be called mom or dad.
creating your
Yeah,
own pronoun.
yeah.
Yeah, nibby, dama. Obviously,
Nibbies
I'm
and
nibby.
damas. Thank you,
Yeah,
L word.
thank you, L word. Well, I wish it wasn't canceled. I wish they would bring it back. But I will say, no one is entitled to your kid.
Mm,
No one.
yeah.
There's a weird energy in a lot of people's lineages
Oh,
where this like sense, but it's my cousin, but it's my niece, but it's my granddaughter. Like,
hmm,
no, you as a mother or a parent, a caregiver, a primary caregiver,
yeah,
you as a parent are the only one that is entitled to that.
yeah.
Protect your space.
Like period. Period.
Period.
Yeah. Um, which, by the way, I just figured why that became so popular is because when you're speaking into your phone, you're like, period, because you want
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
Siri to take the period. Yes. Like, and it's like, that doesn't mean that like they can't see them eventually or as your boundaries
Sure.
allow. but it's like, I'm going to ask my guides about this. So, oh gosh, okay. Okay. Sometimes like the grandchildren, the nieces, whatever, to the other people who like want to have time with them, whatever, they've been like their daughter. Right.
I
So
see.
yeah. So like this doesn't happen with all families and lineages, but for those that
Right.
do, there might be like Maeve might be
Some kind of connection.
some kind of connection. So they don't know why they're kind of acting like this. Cause I would say it
Mm.
is like, if you were to just like neutralize it, it's like, it's a little like, it's kind of obvious that it's the parents, right?
Yeah.
But like my guys are saying to help people understand, like there might be that type of connection. So, and they're saying you can honor that however you want, but like that's maybe sometimes where it comes from in this like
Yeah.
ownership,
This
especially if they felt
weird.
an ownership when they were like in a past life with them, all these kinds of things. Yeah.
Oh, it's messy.
It is. And that's the thing. It's like we are that nucleus family, but we are part of our greater lineage. But there's not, how do they want to say this? They're saying that like how we like divide our time now is much different than we did back then. Like back then it was, we all kind of lived in community. So they would just
Yeah.
naturally be a part of the baby, but they'd also be helping out.
Right.
So there's like this sort of like, a lot of what today is just like the fun part of the caretaking or whatever versus the true caretaking and responsibility that comes with that connection.
Yes.
It trips me out, I know.
I feel that.
But it is, I think it's a little and then I think they're showing me just like there are like, sometimes the kid can go live with the grandparents or the grandparents can get custody. Like
Yeah.
my guides are trying to like give examples of like there is this in our collective, which is why a lot of people also think like they have a right to or whatever it is.
Right.
Even like grandparents, the title, right? Even the title they're saying to me is like they are bestowed with when they get that title, they also feel like a parental type of role.
Yeah.
Right. And
There's
a lot of times,
responsibility.
like your parents will be like awesome grandparents, but they were like shitty parents to you.
Correct.
And that's always a mind fuck. You're like, where was that when I
Right.
was
Like
a
you can
kid?
show up now.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
because like you're not stressed out and not 25 or whatever
Right.
when you had me, those kinds of things. So I think that's a little bit of it. It's like, it's this weird thing, but I think more about what we've been talking about is like this feeling of like they get a say.
Right.
Like, yes, you're their grandparent. Yes, you're part of their lineage. Yes, there's that familial stuff. And even there, you can have boundaries to protect your kids if your family is
Right.
crazy. But
Yeah.
it's this weird, like, because I have this title,
I
because I was
have a
born
say.
into this, like, very like the kingdom, right? Because I'm the king,
Yeah.
because God said I'm the king. Yeah. And it's like, that we don't play that. That's old school
Programming.
old programming, old lineage, we're here to break all that. They're
Yeah.
showing us sword, like cutting all that. Unnecessary.
I know, because I will move. I will move across the country. Like I don't
Be like taking my
I was
baby and going.
born to be a mama bear.
Yeah, and I think you probably don't know your mama bear until you become a mom, right?
It intensified. I feel like I did. No, but
Oh yeah.
it didn't really matter because it was just about me.
Oh, you were a mama bear to your own inner child
Yeah, to
self.
myself. Yeah. But now that it, affects other people, it's more off-putting. Um
Cheers to that.
literally always been this way. Yeah.
Oh, now it affects you. I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's a problem. Funny how that works. But they're also saying like, but then these kids come in to help us kind of wiggle that out, right? And challenge those perspectives and challenge those ways of thinking. Just because it's always been that way doesn't mean it has to be that way moving forward.
Yeah, and like making sure that you're protecting your boundaries out of love and not fear.
Love for your kid and yourself.
Yeah. And not out of like some fear of what that boundary might do to somebody else or, like checking where your intentions are coming from.
Yeah.
With setting these boundaries and protecting your energy.
Yeah. And what I'm also hearing, thank you, is like sometimes as they're saying a young postpartum mom, like so early in the postpartum, like you don't even know why.
No,
It's an unconscious or a
it is
subconscious
instinctual.
response, instinctual response, but that still has to be honored.
Hmm.
Don't worry if you don't know why.
Right. Just honor that that is what you're feeling and it's valid.
Yeah.
And you're not crazy and it's not just the hormones. Don't let anybody like write off your emotions as invalid just because you're postpartum. They're valid.
Yeah. Ugh. That they're saying that's just people's way of like making themselves feel better.
Yeah.
Is by blaming you instead of taking responsibility for the emotions they were feeling. Whoa.
Yeah.
If they just like can't even, they just bat it right on somebody else, projecting right on somebody else. They can't even absorb what they're
Mm-mm.
feeling.
Mm-mm.
Mm. I'm seeing a lot, so I'm like,
Just
I will
saying
not
what.
name names, but okay, what else?
Oh yeah, we don't have a plan for this episode. We
I
haven't
don't
done
have a
this in a
plan.
long time where we've just gone on.
Chatted.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that we're okay for baby time.
she's fine.
She's fine. Okay, good.
She's napping.
Does she like ever like just be like and
She
like totally
screams.
lose her shit? But how come I
Yes.
like never hear it?
Oh, I'll send you a video.
Yeah, send me a video. I'll like get her cute videos of her and pictures of her.
Oh yeah, no, she loses
Oh.
it. She loses it a lot.
But
Mhm.
like not when she's away from you. Like I figure like don't babies cry a lot when they're away from their moms?
It's a developmental milestone for them to realize that you're not
Mm,
around,
and
that
be
you're
chill.
separate from them. Yeah, and she's just starting to, she's 6.5 months and she's just starting to recognize when I leave the room.
But before the minute you leave, she would cry.
No,
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
notice.
Oh, doesn't notice.
No, because they don't realize that they're separate from you yet. They
Wait,
don't fully realize that you're not a part of them until they're like 18 months.
okay. So when you leave the room, they just think what when they're young?
They typically don't notice until they reach this like 6.5 months, 7 month milestone where they are like, oh, where did mom go?
Oh, so it becomes more like they want to know where you are.
Yeah.
I probably haven't taken care of newborns. I just remember like taking care of kids and like the minute the parents would leave, they'd be like, oh, and
That's a
cry.
secure attachment. Yeah. That's if they have a secure attachment. Yeah.
And I'd be like, who wants tacos? Who wants spring cake?
Distraction.
Oh my gosh. Oh, she's so sweet. I love little Maeve. You can send me pictures of her anytime, all
I
the
will.
time.
I
Just randomly. You don't have to text
yes.
anything. It makes me so happy to see her.
She's so funny. And like I don't think that all babies are funny, but she is so funny. She does the weirdest things.
Wait, I feel like you have like a notepad with like this baby's a 2. No, this baby's a 10. This baby's hilarious. Like, what makes a baby funny?
Some babies are duds, Jess, and that's just
Like,
just
you think
the
she
way
has
it
like a
happens.
sense of humor? Like, she has like
Yeah.
timing and a rhythm and knows how to make you laugh.
Yeah, some babies like they ham it up, like she knows, but she doesn't even.
I'm dying.
I don't think she's intentionally trying to make us laugh or intentionally. She's just funny.
Give me an example.
Um.
I'll
Oh
tell you
my
if it's
God.
funny.
Well, no. she. I. I don't know. I'll send you a picture. This morning she had like she's starting to try to crawl
Oh,
and like move herself around.
love it.
So we set her up in the boppy and she's got this little keyboard that she like plays on while we're cooking in the kitchen. And it only, 30% of the time works to keep her distracted so we can do stuff.
30%.
Because she's a Velcro baby. She likes to be on you.
Yeah. Oh,
So she was playing with that this morning when we were getting coffee and stuff ready. And then I turn around and she's like straight chilling in it. I don't know how she got her feet kicked up. Like she was just like lounging.
I see. And like just her vibe, her whole
It's
vibe.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's funny.
Meanwhile, she's like, I'm stuck. My feet are up. I don't know why. And my parents are laughing and think I'm cute.
I don't want to give her a complex. She was calm. She was chill. She wasn't crying.
No, I can see her. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's cute. I had dinner with my friend and her daughter, and her daughter's 5. And we were eating Korean food. and she was teaching her how to use chopsticks. And
Mhm.
like there was this whole little moment between her and her daughter. And I was just like,
Ugh,
it's the cutest thing ever.
that's what you want. That's what made me want
It's
to
so
have a
cute.
kid.
I was like, look at this. And she's teaching her and she's trying it out and this and that. And then we went next door and had this amazing Korean dessert. Oh my God, I can't
Mm.
remember the name of it. I'll have to remember it. But it's like shaved ice
Mm.
and they put like fruit on it and whipped cream and whatever else you want. It's so delicious.
Mm.
And so we split one. And then when it got towards the end, her daughter was like, take a bite, and she'd be like, oh, this is hot. Ha, 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 ha. And I was like, I take a bite, I'm like, oh my God, so hot, so hot. And like, then for like the rest of the day, that's all we did. Everything was hot. And so then I was like, oh, this tastes like soap, or this tastes like this. And she didn't really like my variations on the cake. I was like, no, Aunt Jess, it's just hot because it's cold. Get
Okay,
it?
got it. I
But
get
it
it.
was just it was so cute. And she was like cuddling up to me and like, like wanting to sit on my lap. And I'm just like, this is
It's
so
such a
cute.
fun age.
It's so
5.
cute. It is because I've known her since she was like 3, right? So like
Mhm.
now I can have much more like interaction with her, and she
Mhm.
and like we don't like she does speak English and she's speaking English more, but she speaks Korean at home, and so I was like learning Korean so I could like talk to
Nice.
her and like Google. I would like hold up my Google thing and I'd press it, but every time I'm with them, we always have like have a good time.
It just fills up your love bucket.
Yes. And I love that my friend brings her daughter with us,
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to have like quiet conversations like that in front of her daughter. I'd be like, so about because I don't know, like
Yeah. What's
what's
appropriate?
what's appropriate.
Because they mimic.
They do. That's so
You
weird.
the other, a few weeks ago when Jen and I we got in a huge fight, knockdown drag out, probably the biggest fight we've ever been in. And I was like sobbing one morning, like holding Maeve as she was napping. For the next week, she went like mimicking me sobbing.
You're like,
Can't keep you humble.
where'd you learn how to cry like that? My mom.
And she did this weird tongue thing starting like last week, like last Friday. She would just like she sticks out her tongue like Jen was like, is she mimicking the dogs? Like I don't know where she would have picked that up. And we
I know.
texted her mom, and her mom was like, no, grandma, I was doing that to her on Thursday. So she's mimicking.
Oh, why? I know people do that with babies, the tongue thing. It's so
They're
weird.
fascinated. Well, they're fascinated by tongues.
They are fascinated by
Yes,
tongues.
they are
I'm
fascinated.
trying to imagine, like, as a baby, like seeing a tongue for the first time, like come out at you.
So confusing.
I would be confused.
What
I'd
is
be like,
that?
what is that? Things
Where did
come
it
out,
and then it's gone.
and like the ones where they like press your nose, right, and you pull
Yeah.
your ears. I remember kids being like, "Oh, what? Like, did
She's
you
a
pull your
witch.
ear? And your tongue like what?" Oh, that age before they know everything.
It's so fun.
So sweet, so tender. I love it. Okay, let's go make a baby.
This is a commercial for babies.
If you're ovulating and you know it, clap your hands.
They're so fun.
I love all those ovulation things that people are like, I'm ovulating.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you go. Ride that power.
Yeah, if you're not sure if you're ovulating, do you feel randy?
Is
Well,
that
then
is
you're
that a
ovulating.
sign?
That's nature's way. Yeah,
Oh.
that's nature's way of being like, you could create life this week.
We're just gonna turn that up a bit and see how it goes.
Yeah.
That's nature's. Well, I always tell clients, I'm like, when you're juicy.
Yeah. Well, that
Like,
too.
you kind of, but I mean, juicy is all of that. It's the wetness, but it's the horniness. It's the, you're just like, it's 3 PM. You like, this is deep secrets. You like touch your nipple accidentally. You're like, woo!
Maybe I'm ovulating. Yeah.
I'm gonna match the two. I just bought a bunch of ovulation strips.
Yeah.
And it comes with a cup.
It does.
What do I do?
You
Why are
pee
there
in the
so
cup
many of them? I pee in the cup. I put the stick in.
first thing in the morning. First pee.
Like when I kind of think I'm ovulating, like close to and I don't have to use it for my whole cycle, right?
You can if you want to get a feel for like watch the strips get darker and darker. So you get like in tune with that validation.
That's interesting. Okay.
But you're only ovulating for like 12 hours.
so little.
So when the strip starts to turn dark, when it gets darker, those are like good times to start trying before you ovulate.
Right. Because when you're ovulating, the egg's on her way. Better have some
Yes.
sperm in there for her.
Correct. And sperm lives for 3 to 5 days in the body.
That's such a weird. Okay. This is my brain today. I'm the scientist. You guys still alive? Yeah. Okay, day 3. How about now? Oh, just a few of us left. Day 5. Just the winners. I mean,
just the one.
What is that? How did they get that info?
I don't know.
Unless they did it that way.
That study, somebody, I don't know how science, I don't know how science did this, but they filmed ovulation or they got it on camera or something.
Like a sperm and an egg.
Yeah. So when like a sperm meets the egg, it emits light.
Yes, I've seen that.
What?
Yeah.
That is wild. And it's not always what I learned recently. It's not always the first sperm that meets the egg. It's the right sperm that meets the egg. The egg has already chosen.
Oh, and it has to like burrow in, right?
Yeah, only the one sperm that the egg has chosen can get in. Typically, unless you're
like
twins.
Sperm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fraternal twins.
Yeah. I just love that the egg's like, no.
No, not you.
Not you.
Yeah. You.
Number 5 day. You. Number
Welcome.
5 dayer.
Yeah, you're looking a little slow.
Wait, I'm just like imagining like all these sperms like, so how long have you been here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know she's supposed to be here any minute. I'm so excited to meet her.
Drinks.
I know.
The waiting room. Your uterus is a waiting room.
Oh, God. I feel like when you should like give some stuff for the sperm, like some energetic, like waiting room stuff, cocktails, yeah,
card games.
I'm a little drunk. Be like,
coffee table books.
Make your move. Oh my God, sperm! I love sperm. They're so cute. There's so many of them.
There are so many of them.
There's so many, huh?
I know. Yeah, it's a miracle that anybody gets born.
Overdone. It's a bit much, you know. Well, like, what are you bringing to the party? Like 1 deviled egg. What are you bringing? Like all these sperm. It's a bit much.
It's a lot. Well, they don't all make it because the bouncer is your cervix.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like this club vibe that we're going into.
I like this analogy. This is your science lesson for today.
And like the egg is like the star. Like everybody wants to like meet her.
Yeah.
The cervix is like whoosh.
Right.
Okay, what does the cervix do? She kind of closes it up.
Yeah.
You have to tip her, aka orgasm her to open her up.
It automatically opens up during ovulation a little bit.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
She leaves the door a little open.
Just a little. Just cracked. But she retreats. So she makes it still a little bit harder to get to. Your cervix moves up and back.
So I feel like you have to have like a password or like go down a set of stairs or something.
Right.
Or like behind a bookcase. It's like a secret club, like a speakeasy.
It's like a speakeasy. Yes. Your reproductive organs are still in prohibition.
If you're still with us on this podcast, tell us what drink you would make for your sperm. I just love imagining things like that. It just helps me understand that process a bit more when I personify them, because then I can feel their energy.
Well, I feel like it's not talked about enough. Even, I was a nurse for a decade and I still learned so much about my own cycle and my own body during the conception process.
Yeah. Well, and like, okay, there's a big thing that happens with babies and women who lose their babies is the incompetent cervix.
Yes.
Which is what? When she lets the door open while there's a baby in there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, just blame the cervix. Like she's just trying to do her job. Somebody was probably, I don't know. Why does it open? What? Yeah.
Well, you know what? I wonder if the baby signals, because before my water broke, I woke up. It was at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
I woke up immediately, wide awake, and then like 30 seconds later, felt a pop. So your baby's brain sends the signal. So I wonder if incompetent cervices is due to the baby being like, all right, we gotta bail.
That's so interesting. Because what would another reason be? Like, what else could press that button? Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wonder
Unless
I'm curious what the medical's professional opinion is about that. I know they just say that you have that.
they'll say it's idiopathic, which
What
means
does
they
that
don't
mean?
know.
Oh, that's a fancy word for we don't know.
Idiot.
Idiot.
Yes.
I mean, idiopathic you are.
Yeah.
We do not know why, and we are so smart. I don't know. I'm talking like, what's his name? Boris? Borat. Boris. Borat. My cervix. Come on, Borat, do that one.
Maybe we should have questions for the next episode. I feel like we've just gone on
They're like,
tangents.
I don't want my question answered after this crazy
Club
energy.
uteri. Oh yeah, let's get to some channel questions.
Oh, okay, good.
Unless there's any more questions you have about idiopathic
No,
competent services.
I just no, but like, I think that was fun. I'm gonna make a cocktail for the sperm.
I think that's great, like a welcome drink.
Yeah, like what are those like at weddings and they have like a
Yeah.
specialty cocktail?
Yeah.
Like you have your choice of a Mai Tai or
Yes, champagne.
a spermariga.
Get comfortable. Yeah.
Don't die.
Grab a seat.
She's coming.
She's
any
coming.
minute. Yeah, you have like music to like keep them going. It's like a Tony Robbins concert. It's not a concert, but whatever.
Yeah, that's what it is. Ovulation, conception. Okay. We did get a couple of questions. We'll wrap this up. I feel like we went on a real tangent there. When we never really did talk about, did we talk about the Schumann resonance? We did.
I mean, barely.
About like the implications of it being organized.
Yeah. Isn't that what started our 3D, 5D timeline?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any more importance of it?
I've heard from a few content creators that the organization of the Schumann resonance is giving life to your manifestations. It's like it's less chaotic energy. The energy is more direct, it's more refined, it's more directional. Your thoughts, your words have more direct power.
I feel that.
It's organized. It's not so like, I don't know, send this thought off into the universe and let's see what happens. It's more like, I think I'm going to see a cat crossing the street. And then like you see a fucking cat 2 seconds later crossing the street. Like it's more direct.
Because of the aliens helping us out.
Yeah, they're pushing energies into the planet to help us all ascend.
Thanks, bros.
Thanks, guys. Freesh.
Taylor Swift Heart.
Come save us.
Pick us up. Where you at?
I think I'm
outside.
That's the gist of the Schumann resonance.
I love that. That's the gist of it.
Yeah. Anything else about the solstice before we dive into these questions and wrap up this tangent?
Anything more about the solstice? I don't know. I feel like I had a good solstice.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some good energy. I think a lot of people were doing things this solstice, I felt.
I agree.
I saw a lot of like witchy stuff and I guess, I don't know, I'm feeling compelled to say this, but like your ceremony on solstice can look like whatever you want it to look like. You know, like you don't have to do anything anytime. You don't have to charge your crystals. You don't have to do those things. Just whatever feels good or nothing at all. And that's part of the normalizing is like
your life is a moving prayer.
It is. And so you can always also like do it the day after if you couldn't on that day. Like don't get so caught up in like, oh my God, it's only then tomorrow it's like fucking June 22nd next, you know.
There are no rules. Yeah.
We're still in that very powerful energy. So I don't know. That's all they're saying to me.
Love it. Beautiful.
Let's channel some questions.
Yes. Okay. Cancer season.
Meow.
We have all these like written down on a Google Doc, by the way, so we're keeping track of all of the questions that you ask us. I think it would be fun if like you pick one and I pick one to answer. Okay.
Let's do it. Let me open this up.
Okay, I'll pick one first. I have it up. Um,
There we go. Okay. Oh,
okay, I don't know who asked us this question or what, maybe they asked you, but it's sticking out. What is the source of my mom's pain and how can I best support her?
yeah.
Do you know? Do you
I know that person, so you should answer it.
I should answer it. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, what I'm hearing, it's like they're saying it's like self-proclaimed loneliness. It's like she doesn't have to be lonely in whatever she's going through, but she's sort of choosing that isolation.
Why?
It feels like she thinks nobody's going to understand what she's
Hmm.
going through to the depths that she feels like she would want to be understood. But caveat, she also doesn't want to be understood because that's too raw. That's too vulnerable. That would cause her to be too open.
Ooh, girl,
Yeah,
100. That's what I feel. I feel that.
that's what it feels like to me.
And
Um,
that's so hard when you want to care and love for somebody and
mhm,
they don't
don't want
want
it.
you to see that vulnerable part of them. What would you recommend for somebody then to like how to deal with that energy?
Just meet them where they're at
Yeah.
and always ask. Like, don't like ask them how can I support you today? How can I support you
Yeah.
in this moment? How
Oh, I
how
love
would you feel
that.
supported? And maybe they don't know,
Yeah.
and just meet them in that place of not knowing. Okay, like
Yeah.
okay, well I'm here.
Yeah. If you think of something or
I'm
yeah.
here. Yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know what their needs are
they
and how
don't.
to get them met. I have an assignment to give my therapist my list of needs, and I was like, like food, shelter, water, or
Just I'll write those down. Yeah,
oh, okay, definitely need those. But what else do I need?
it's vulnerable
It
to
is.
express your need because then there's this fear that comes up that it's not going to be met or that it's
Oh,
too
oh,
much.
oh.
Yeah, right? Or if
Yeah.
you express a need, suddenly like you're incapable of meeting it yourself. It's like an inadequacy within yourself. But
Yes.
that's why we're in relationship with each other. That's why we have connections. That's why we're all here together is because we all serve each other in different ways.
We all need each other.
We do.
We do.
You're not an island.
Oh my God, my brain is just going places today. We're gonna stay focused because
We
I'm hearing
already
like da 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 island music.
Yeah, we already
Um,
went. We already went there with Club Uterus.
that's a t-shirt. That's merch. Club Uterus.
Club
Let's
Uterus.
make it with all our other merches.
Take it out.
Cool uterus, a bar, some sperm, and then coming down.
Welcome,
If
my
you're an
ties.
artist and this is your vibe, contact us.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. And so then you're faced with like even more disappointment, even pushback even more into your vulnerable places. Like, oh, it's like that thing when you're like, you be vulnerable and then somebody doesn't need that. You're like, oh, that was a waste of time, like,
Well, then have that awareness that maybe the ways in which you are offering support are not the ways in which they need it.
yeah,
That's why it's always best to just ask,
yeah.
how can I support you?
And even it could be something simple like, can you go get the mail for me? Right. Those
Right.
little things. And even though you want to be like this other level of compassion and love, if they can't receive it or want to be healed, like it is,
It's
yeah,
not going to land.
it's not going to land. Yeah. I love
That's
that.
great for cancer season because, like, cancer, right? This energy of, God, cancers are so emotional and they're so like, let me take care of you. But
Yeah.
let me take care of you in the way that I want to take care of you, not maybe necessarily in the way that you need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But I really just love that, like, ask them. And I think that direct, open, honest communication in relationships is like where you get the clarity instead of like trying to
Mhm.
figure it out or this is what I would want. It's like so much of our lives happen in our heads.
Yeah, so
And we should just
much.
be like, what do you want me to do? Yeah.
Yeah, do not think that anybody is a mind reader. Nobody's a mind reader. Always
Not even
ask.
me.
No. Well, maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe you, but still ask.
But still ask. I'm like, I'm sensing that you want
Yeah.
this. Um, and I think what's interesting in like the source of my mom's pain, it's that it's not like she's got a bad knee or she's got a whatever this. It's like this energy around help and receiving. And pain shows up in our body and in our physical form for that very reason, to help us with the emotional stuff.
It's a messenger.
Right? Yeah, it totally is. But it's like by the time it gets into our body, we're like, okay.
Yeah.
I just know this because I have a new pain in my body. And all my healers are like, yay, that's for you. And I'm like, that's so great. And so I've, instead of being like, you motherfucker, I've been like, okay, I'm going to stretch you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to do this and just do all the things. Cause you do need to support your body, right? You need to do those things if it's in your body. But also as I'm doing that, I'm like, what else comes up? Cause man, when I do this pigeon stretch,
oof,
the tears are real.
Is it your hips?
Oh, come on now. That's where I like
where
to keep
trauma
things.
is stored.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay.
And I know what it is. I know what my trauma is, and I know what I have to do.
Most people do, and that's why they don't want to look at it.
Come on over to La La Land. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I like this one too. What are ways to incorporate earth babies? Did I say that right? Incorporate? What are ways to incorporate
earth babies?
This is like my weird, like reading voice. What are ways to incorporate earth babies into your spiritual practice? Do earth babies, oops, what does that say? Do earth babies still communicate
with their spirit baby siblings?
With their spirit baby siblings.
I like this question.
Me too, because like you just pulled cards with little Maeve.
Yeah.
Okay. What are ways to incorporate earth babies into your spiritual practice? This is interesting. This is my guides. Your spiritual practice is yours and yours alone. Ding. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's what they're telling me. Like, so, and your baby has a spiritual practice. But what I think this person is asking is like, how can I read cards when I have a baby? Or how can I do my things when I have a baby? Right. So if that is the broader question of like, how can I share and showcase and do that? Any way you want. Right? Like,
there's no right or wrong way.
There's no right or wrong way. You should, I'm hearing, like, still have your part that is sacred and then is just yours, and then it's just your kind of your own spiritual practice. But like, if you want to teach your kids, you know, you can do cards, you can do nature, you can do all kinds of things. Not they're saying not everything is like baby appropriate for some people's like magical and spiritual practices, right?
Tiny crystals are choking hazards.
Right, exactly. But like, can you like put a crystal in their room to help them sleep better? Yes. Right. If that's like part of your spiritual practice. Incorporate earth babies into your spiritual practice. Don't you feel like that's the question? It's more like, how can I do my spiritual practice with my babies? Like you pulled cards with Maeve. I would take them out and like, you know, like they're kind of saying trees. Like, exactly. Talk to the trees, talk to the flowers, be like, hello flowers, hello, and those kinds of things. Like, show them in very simple ways. Like what you already do.
Because they're absorbing, they're just watching you and absorbing everything that you do.
Yeah, I would say also, like, what I'm hearing a little bit too is like, validate them if they say that they see grandma or they see colors around you or they notice things, right? Validating them, that would help, because that's their cosmology coming through. What I really hear in this question is you need time to do your own stuff. And that the reason that it hasn't been working to incorporate them in because it was never meant to. You have yours and they have theirs, and you have your teaching zone where you teach and share with them, but yours is yours and yours alone. Oh, I love that answer.
You need time.
Yeah. And then, do earth babies still communicate with their spirit baby siblings? 100%.
I want to know about that actually a little bit more. Like, is there a connection, right? Because it's not like a guarantee that an earth baby is going to get a spirit baby sibling. Like, there's not a guarantee. You know, things change, timelines change, minds change, situations change.
Yeah.
So like navigating, unless some spirit babies come in with just like that strong of a sibling connection.
Like some spirit babies will, okay, so I've learned this. I have to like expand the triangle. So triangle conception, spirit babies. I used to just put you and your partner in there.
Yeah.
Right. Or you and your donor. I have to expand that to the family,
Ooh, the
because
family.
a grandmother might call in a granddaughter, a sister might call in a sister or a brother. Like, so sometimes if the birthing parent is also in agreement with that, like, like they still always have to want to have that baby, but
Right.
sometimes that baby comes for somebody else as the number one connection in the
Interesting.
family. It's not always to the mother or the father or the parents or whatever.
Right.
So sometimes it's like, and like they're giving me examples of like a kid will have leukemia and then they'll bring in a brother to help and they'll be a perfect
Mm,
match, those kinds of things, right? Like
yeah.
they'll call them in, literally call them in. Sometimes they really want to do life with them. Sometimes they need help.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like I don't want to be alone here. Sometimes they've agreed to be first, but yeah, they do always communicate. And yeah, they understand that things change and timelines change, but I've learned that other people can have a pull on them coming in besides their parents. Yeah.
Interesting.
And like, do they communicate with them? Like, some spirit babies will visit their earth siblings. So like if you find your baby like babbling or like talking to nothing, it
Yeah.
might be their sibling or one of their guys. It could be a lot of people.
Could be
A
anything.
lot of people. It could be guides, fairies, but it could be a sibling. But they do communicate. They might be like, "Hey, is it like too soon for me to come in? Is now a good time? Like, what do you think? Are you ready for me to come in? Are you ready for me to be a big brother, a big sister?" Sometimes
Hmm.
they're like, "Nope, I want a bit more time." And I will hear that because parents will be like, "I just don't think he's ready to have another baby or have another. He's just really, and I'm like, "Yeah, like trust that he
Mm.
is not showing a bunch of independence, but really actually saying like, I still want to be with my mom. And I still, because it's like, what I get from the mothers is like, they kind of know that their kid needs that more like one-on-one attention. And
Yes.
eventually they'll get to a place where they're like, okay, they're going to be okay if I bring in another soul and
Yeah.
how to like bring them in and share and all that kind of stuff. Cause there's a lot of like worry about how the new kid is going to impact the current kid.
I can speak a lot to that because we've
Tell
been having
me.
a lot of discussions about having a second one
Yes.
because I don't want to, I don't want to start getting sleep and then not get sleep again. That's our whole argument. So we've
I
talked
love it.
about starting the journey for another one, but then you have these thoughts come up. We're like, well, is this enough time with the one who decided to come first? Like, is this enough? Are they getting enough of my one-on-one solo attention, which is part of the reason why they came first?
Yeah, I mean, are there like developmental things around like spacing between kids? Because I hear all kinds of things. Like people are like, I don't want my
Technically,
kids to be too far apart. Or, I was 10 years difference than my brother and it was great. It's like people get
technically,
so like they want to like construct that so much.
we want to check in with your body too because it's such
Yeah.
a draw on your like mineral supply.
Pregnancy.
Yeah, pregnancy,
Yeah.
birth, like they take, babies take like what 30% of your minerals or something, nutrients
Oh.
in your body. Yeah, they take a bunch. So you're depleted, which is why like your hair falls out postpartum. So as long
Oh.
as you can like replenish, there's this thing they recommend like 2 to 3 years in between siblings for like optimal replenishment
Somebody
for the
else
mother's
just said
body.
that. Yeah, they
Yeah.
said 18 months kind of a thing, and but they
Yeah.
didn't want to wait that long.
And there's been studies done about like firstborn siblings have broader faces, broader palates. Second siblings under 2 years have narrower faces, narrower palates. It's interesting.
What does that have to do with, because the
It's about the
more
minerals.
nutrient, more
Yeah.
minerals? Is that
Hmm.
like, is a narrow face like not a good thing?
I mean, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Like obviously they chose it, but it's just I think indicative of maybe the mother wasn't as replenished as she could have been if she had waited
That's
a little bit longer.
fascinating to me.
Yeah, so take some minerals. I'm going to take some minerals. So
Trace minerals?
I'm going to take Shilajit.
Well, excuse me?
It's a little mineral tab. This is not medical advice, but
Okay. Not medical
uh,
advice.
it is like really mineral rich. What it's made of, but I know it's incredible for like mineral replenishment.
It's like a vitamin-y type thing that you just take.
Yeah, they have tablets and they have paste.
Oh,
Yeah, gross.
ew.
I'm gonna do tablets. Thank
Here's
you.
some paste.
Thank you.
Will not serve paste at the uterus bar. That's for sure.
No, no.
Um, what do you think? Do you think Maeve is connecting with her sibling to be?
I don't know. Hard to say because I don't know if there's like a pre-Earth connection there between them. necessarily.
Mm. Yeah. So my guides are kind of saying like it's not like your earth baby is like like they're definitely like we want to be here on earth. And so they're
They're
definitely
here.
trying to
Yeah.
like, like get to know earth. But like if their sibling comes, maybe if they still want to like talk to them or feel them, it would be like any conversation. It would be like, hey, spirit baby sibling,
Yeah.
hey, earth baby. Like it would be like that. It's not like a constant communication, I guess is what they want you to know. It's like more just like any type of spirit communication because then now they're on earth and they have free will. So they
Yeah.
can also like deny that if they want to, or like not receive it. Most babies don't. They're pretty open and
Yeah.
receiving of things. But yeah, that's kind of what they're showing me is it's a little bit different.
I think it's just so nuanced for every person
Yeah.
and their own relationships with their siblings.
Yeah, siblings. My
It's weird
husband and
energy.
oh
Siblings
my
is weird
God,
energy.
we had such a discussion about it. And he has a very, I would say, like unpopular opinion of siblings, right? Because everybody's like, oh, brothers, oh, sisters,
Yeah.
oh, all this kind of stuff. And he's like, and so I'm like, I have no concept of siblings.
Right.
I mean,
Only child.
and he's like, yeah, yes, you do. And I was like, I do, right? I understand like what a sibling is, right? From
Yeah.
like a biological standpoint, from like a family tree, from, like that emotional component, but I don't know what it's like to have somebody born into the same family as you, younger
You
or
don't have
older,
those, you
that
don't
has
have those trauma
experienced
bonds.
your parents.
You don't have
And
them.
I'm like, I'm like, that would have been nice.
Well,
I probably tried to call in a sibling.
do you think you did?
Yes, I was like, I want a brother or sister. I think I distinctly remember telling my parents, like, yo, I was like, send help. This is weird.
I need help. Call
Bring me
reinforcement.
somebody else. And we'll be like, what? Yeah. But
That's
I
funny.
mean, I found my way, I guess.
You did.
And now, honestly, from what I hear from y'all who have siblings, it just sounds like a hot mess.
It's weird having somebody who's like known you your whole life.
I don't understand. My favorite thing about siblings is they're like, I love her, but I hate her. And I'm like, I don't, what?
Don't get it.
Or like, you just like stop talking to them, or like they're always in some weird place of like fighting or not fighting. Like, I remember one Thanksgiving, my uncle and my dad lived in Southern California, but my aunt lived back east, but she would always call on Thanksgiving. And she's a therapist, and she could never come to Thanksgiving because it was always a crazy time. Maybe she just didn't want to come. Is what I've learned. Anyway, she called. Like you pass the phone around on the holidays. Yeah. No joke. My uncle hid in a closet in my dad's room because he did not want to talk to her. And we were just like, it's your sister. It's your sister, right? That kind of collective like enforcement of her.
Yeah.
He was just like, nope. And I think my dad was like, oh, I'm busy cooking and blah, blah, blah. Like,
oh my God.
But it's just like, I was like, it fascinates me. It's like
sibling energy is weird.
I like your brother.
Which one?
Oh yeah, I guess I've met both of them.
Yeah.
Keaton's on Earth. He's cool. Mark Jr.
No.
Oh no. Mark the second?
No, different. That's a different middle name.
Oh.
Just Mark.
Oh, Junior has the same middle name?
I think so.
Oh,
you have to specify Junior? I don't know.
Okay. At your baby shower,
yeah,
he performed for us, which was really fun with the photo album. Remember that?
What did he do? I don't know. I was very overwhelmed.
We were. Your mom and your brother were asking about their dogs or something like that. Yeah. And like, didn't somebody end up with his dogs or something like that? There's some kind of dog story.
My mom and my little brother have from the same breeder, the same litter.
Yeah. And then we something happened. I can't remember. We said something. And then the next picture on that rotating photo frame was of him with dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're like, oh, and it was like, oh, it was because it was like, they asked like, why do we have the same dogs? And he was like, so that you guys are family.
You're connected.
You're connected. Oh, I have chills.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, he's so cute.
He's so cute. In spirit. But yes, your other brother is so cool. He lives in New York.
Yeah, just moved to New York City.
Living the big life.
Following his dreams.
Architect. So
awesome. Proud of him. So proud.
And see, I think like with my in-law siblings, like I felt a little bit of that, like, oh, here is this new kind of love for a person, right? That's different than friends and stuff. But it was like it's cool to like be like proud of somebody or see somebody in that way. Because I've been with my husband for 20 years, so I've seen his siblings grow
Mhm.
up. I mean, when I met his brothers, they couldn't drive, so
Yeah.
now he has 2 babies.
Oh, that's wild.
I know, and gray hair. How
Oh my
cute!
God. Oh, and sibling energy is weird too because they like you grew up in the same circumstances in the same
Mhm.
household and have completely different experiences
Yeah,
because
which
like you sign up to experience your parents in different ways.
yeah, and like I think when siblings try to have like a did you experience that? And somebody's like, no, I didn't.
Hmm.
You're crazy. Like that happens too. Like people invalidate or don't validate like everybody's experience. It's like, oh, mom wasn't that bad. It's like,
You had a different contract with her.
yeah,
Yeah.
you came to mom when she was this age versus when she was like,
Right.
well, in that stage. So,
And your moon sign didn't, I don't know if we talked about this on the
oh
podcast, but
yeah,
like your moon sign represents your mom in your own natal chart. It's like your experience of mothering,
of your own mom.
of your own mom
What
and like
about your
and the
own
house that
mothering?
it's in.
Will you mother like your moon sign?
Yes. And it will show up in Maeve's
There.
chart
Oh.
as her moon sign in that house is the way that she will experience, I guess, us because we're both moms.
No, what's the new word that you shared
What word?
instead of mommy and daddy?
Nibby? Dama?
Nibby. We're both damas. I love that so much. Okay, wait, that's tripping me out. So because she has 2 moms,
I know. We need a non-binary astrologer to come break this down because I guess she'll experience the more feminine aspects of us in the moon sign way and the more masculine aspects of us in her sun sign.
so yeah, it doesn't really matter what your
No,
parents are. Yeah, because
not
we all have
gendered.
masculine and feminine. But that is cool. Now I'm gonna go look at my mom's chart.
Yeah, you should.
I think she has an Aries moon.
But it's about your moon sign is how you
I have an
experienced your mom.
Aquarius moon. So I
So you
experience
experienced
her,
your mom more detached.
yes,
And in
and
one
kind
other
of
house.
maybe my 11th. I don't know.
Well, you saw her what be a travel agent, so like making connections, making networks in a larger community.
I always fail my quiz with you.
You do.
Oh my God. I'm always like, where's my phone? Dang it. You're like, but what house, Jessica? What house? I don't know. That's my next thing to memorize. I got my
How's it?
planets. I got my signs.
Yeah.
Now I just got to get the houses down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Keep quizzing me.
Okay, I will. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I think that's all we have to say about it.
And all the air is out of the balloon.
Yeah, so you're actually going on a big trip. Wrapping up.
Am.
You're going on a big trip. So we're going to end season 3
In July.
before you leave. Yeah, so we have
Yeah.
like what, 1 or 2 episodes left?
Yeah.
Maybe 1, maybe 2. So if there's
Yeah.
anything that we haven't talked about, we haven't touched on, anything we did touch on that you want us to go a little bit deeper into, please send us a DM, an email, a telepathy wave. Whatever, whatever you want, send it to us.
Smoke signal, pigeon.
Yeah. So, preferably
Edible
pigeons.
arrangements with a note with your question.
I would love that.
Me too.
Yes, send it to us so that we can touch on it before we break. Good season.
Bye for now.
Yeah. Oh, do you have anything else to add, or is that it? We're out.
Like get I gotta go. I gotta
Bye.
pee. I love you all so much.
Okay. See you guys next time.
Okay.